finals came, I stepped in the box, and it was all I could think about.
Welcome to Social Kick. I'm Brian Lundquist. We got the full crew: Dr. John Mullen, Luke Paddington, and on the West Coast, Jack Alexy. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, how you doing? Good to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, we're good. Well, hey, we started off with some questions that the audience submitted to us on Instagram at Social Kick Swim. First, this is from Hank Rivers, who says, "I heard Jack thinks LeBron is the GOAT. Is that true?"
I don't think that's true. I think Michael Jordan's the GOAT. Me and Hank are teammates at Cal, and we have this debate. It's an ongoing debate between who's the greatest basketball player of all time. So, my books, it's Michael Jordan, and his, it's LeBron James. But you know, we all know who's the real GOAT. So,
I'm just very glad we can continue this podcast now, because if you had said LeBron,
there we go. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Well, for Jack to know, Luke's a Warriors fan, so I think he's in the Steph Curry
there you go.
camp. But all right, well, speaking of the real GOAT, Ruth Conley, 25, wants to know opinion on Taylor Swift.
Not a huge Taylor Swift fan. I guess I understand like why she has a massive fan base, but I'm not a part of it. Yeah.
All right, so we know that Jack's not listening to Taylor Swift right before a Big Hunter freestyle. Noted. Axelander __ wants to know, is water wet?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, I think so.
I have to say that a lot of times when I get in the pool and then I'm in first and nobody else is getting in, they're just standing out on deck and they're like, "How's the water?" I'm like, "Wet."
Yeah,
seems to be my typical quip.
but you
all right.
feel wet when you're out the water. You don't feel wet in the water. And if it's raining, go underwater. You don't get wet. See?
Did you submit this question? It is wet.
Did you stack the deck? All right, last one. D_Rose1000. Favorite movie? What's your favorite movie, Jack?
Favorite movie? I love the Harry Potter movies. Out of the Harry Potter movies, probably Harry Potter 6, and then outside of the Harry Potter series, probably Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh, Ford versus Ferrari is a good one. The word on the street is T Swift likes herself some Harry Potter, so you might not be a fan, but you guys have that in common.
Yeah.
All right, Luke, it's all you.
Yeah. So we have a little segment called Fish Out of Water. We just dive in a little bit of your background and where you've ended up and what's that been like. So we kind of cross paths differently. I left the Bay Area and I went to New York. And you left Jersey and you went to the Bay Area, right? So I kind of know where you're from. You know where I was from. So let's talk about that a bit. The big thing here right now in New York is the whole controversy. But first of all, what does this mean? And when are you going to do this when you finish the race? What does this mean? Tommy DeVito, the Giants. What does this mean?
Yeah. I know it's some sort of Italian kind of gesture. I'm not sure exactly what it means, but I've seen Tommy DeVito do it before.
So your friends growing up in Morristown, Jersey, you guys didn't do that around. You didn't see people do that really growing up?
Not really, no.
Not really, yeah.
No.
All right. So 10 minutes from your school, Del Barton School, there's Coniglio's Pizza. Is that a good spot? Tell me about it. I heard it's really good.
What's the name of it?
Coniglio. Coniglio's. Coniglio.
I haven't
old fashioned.
I haven't been there.
It's right downtown.
Good pizza places around me. Dante's Pizzeria, Millie's Tavern in Morristown, Lenny's Pizzeria. I don't think I've been to that one you just talked about though. Maybe I gotta try it.
Because they made the news this week because about DeVito making an appearance at a pizza shop and doubling his appearance fee and what have you. So talk to me about growing up in Morristown and McFat and what's it like? I mean, let's talk about the pools, right? There are not many great pools in Jersey. What? How many long court pools? 3? In all of Jersey?
Yeah,
and how many? Talk about that, the pools and where you swam at and your background from there.
Yeah, definitely. So I originally started swimming at there's a bunch of like summer league pools around the area. So I swam at the Bernardsville swim team to the summer team. And then just 5 minutes down the road from there is the Sunrise Hills YMCA, where I mainly practiced when I was an age group swimmer and throughout high school. I also practiced when my club merged with Somerset Valley Club. We trained at the Bridgewater YMCA, so it's 10 minutes down 287 the highway. So and that's kind of where I practiced, had most of my practices. And then in the Morristown area for the bar and high school meets and practices, we would practice at Mo Beard School, Morristown High School. But yeah, there's not many not many long course pools in our area. I think the only ones are Rutgers, Princeton, and Berkeley Aquatics.
Berkeley Aquatic, yeah.
Yeah, and we there's like a summer, like a long course pool that we trained for like a month in the summer. But it's not, it's a nice facility, but it's like it's like summer, like club, like relaxing. So it's not like too advanced like Rutgers or anything like that.
Yet Jersey has produced some amazing swimmers recently, from yourself to McFadden to Curtis to Fink, everybody. Do you think pool matters, or you have a lane you can train? It's a program, it's the grit. What do you guys think about needing a pool? The pool to perform.
Yeah, I think it's both. Like, I think obviously having resources and a nice pool to train in helps, but I think a lot of the hard work and performance that I've seen in the rest of the USA athletes I've seen coming from New Jersey, just the main distinction is like not what practice, not what who coaches them, not what pool they train at. It's like what they do when those practices, what internal drive they have within the practice. How are they going to get better? Whether they're swimming in like a shallow 25-meter pool with 4 lanes, or an 8-lane pool long course. So I think the pool definitely, I think it matters a little bit, but you're not going to get better if you're just kind of floating around and kind of goofing off in like a really nice pool. Yeah. So it kind of just is on yourself. A coach can only do, coach helps you, a pool helps you, but it's really on yourself to get to the next level.
100%. You've come from quite a genetically gifted family, athletic wise, right? From your parents, basketball players, your siblings, all state champs, and your brothers at Cal now with you. And then talk to me about what do you think helped shape where you are right now? Is it your family's support, some of your genetics, your coaches at Del Barton, and your coaches at the Y? What experiences at Y brought you in terms of grit and training? Talk about that background before you got to Cal. What helped build Jack Alexy, you think, to where you are now?
Yeah, so I have 3 other siblings: an older sister Kate, older brother Max, and younger brother Rob. And like we have a pool in our backyard in New Jersey, and my parents just originally wanted each of us to know how to swim for safety reasons, in case something happened, just prevent from drowning. So my sister learned how to take swim lessons, and she joined the Burnsville swim team, the summer league. And then my older brother Max did it, I did it, and then Rob did it. And then we each kind of just got involved in the YMCA team in swimming. And we each kind of just followed our siblings' footsteps. So I think the YMCA, in general, has created a lot of, some of my best memories in my life and in the sport of swimming, and just coming from age group swimming, practices, might have not always enjoyed, at 12 years old, swimming every day for 2 hours. But, looking back on it, some of the best memories I've had, and, relationships that I've created, when I was 8 years old, they still maintain today, and have really close friends that I've swam with throughout my years. And I think that's an interesting, unique thing about the YMCA is that it creates this kind of team environment and great relationships, not only on your teammates, but also the coaching staff. I've had a lot of different coaches and coaching changes, which is a great thing because I've been able to get to know a lot of different people, get to know a lot of different coaching perspectives, and just learn a lot from different people. And then from the high school swimming perspective, club swimming it tends to be more individual and time based, whereas high school swimming, similar to college swimming, it's very team based. So the times they matter, but they don't matter as much as the place does. So getting second and third place is better than you going a best time and winning the event, because it's better for your team. So I think that's really interesting. Just my perspective on that. And I think one of the greatest things about swimming, as I mentioned earlier, is just the relationships that you build. I've met so many people throughout, my years, like coaches, mentors, teammates, and I've been able to be part of so many great programs that it's really rewarding. And I think that's been able to create who I am today, and allowed me to get a chance to swim for Cal, get a chance to swim for Dave Durden, and allow myself to take on that next leap after my senior year and go out to Cal and really get things in motion.
Jack, I was telling somebody recently that one of my earliest memory is from taking swim lessons as a kid. Like, I just wonder if, like, you have a thought about what is the earliest memory you've ever had as a human? Because like mine were all in the pool or related to that. And that kind of set the trajectory for like where my life ended up going in swimming. But then there's other people who, have sort of a different introduction and find the sport late. So I'm just curious, like, from the beginning with you and kind of the backyard swimming, what do you remember from those early days? And like, when did your life transition and your focus on swimming transition from dominating sharks and minnows to, dominating 100 freestyles?
Yeah. So I think some of the earliest memories I had in swimming just come from like my backyard with my siblings and friends that, just going in there, we're just playing around, we have dogs. So just playing with the dogs in the water and whatnot. Obviously, when you're like 8 years old, I started swimming when I was 7 years old. That's when I joined like the summer league team in there, my YMCA team. And it's just like when you're that young, you're having fun with it. Like the coaches make it real fun for you. And that's like the biggest thing, I think, for any age group swimmer, even like today, for when I'm 20 years old, I think, having fun with it is always is important, really important in whatever you do. So, having really fun just in practices. And then, like definitely as I got older, maybe, just from like ages like 8 to like 12, 13, 14, was kind of just doing the practices, and then you go, you dress for a meet and then you see what happens. It's just another sport. I played multiple other sports in my life during that same time, like basketball, lacrosse, track. So it was just kind of another sport, and I approached it without any pressure or anything like that. And then, as I got, into high school, like 8th grade and freshman year high school, I kind of started thinking about, what kind of sport I want to do and focus on like wholly, and what I want to do, in college. So out of, the sports I did play, swimming was I was the best at swimming. So I chose to do that. And, freshman year high school, I kind of just had this realization that, I knew that I was one of the more advanced swimmers in the country. And I knew that I could have potential to swim for, one of the top Division I programs. So that just kind of motivated me even more to just work hard and, race fast. And like when I even got older, sophomore, junior year of high school, I had my like list of schools that I wanted to potentially swim for, and Cal's at the top of that list. So I think I'm just really fortunate for, everything that I've been able to do with this sport. It started off just so simple, learning how to swim and just float and being safe in the water to, what I've accomplished so far. So it's really rewarding.
Well, let's talk about that. So, I mean, what a change from your experience swimming at Wise and Delbarton and Morristown to swim to the best college team in the country, to swim to the place that has created one of the greatest freestylers ever to being around, to, the Olympic head coach. You're swimming world record holders, Olympic gold medalists on deck. You show up in Berkeley, 2.5 years ago now, right? 2 and a bit. What was that like your first year, and what changed in your second year? Perhaps your comfort levels. What is it like to adjust, and what was it like? What's it like now? How were you accepted? How's your teammates? Let's talk about the experience of literally a whole new world for you.
Yeah. So I remember in high school, I got the chance to meet like Ryan Murphy, Nathan Adrian at like some like arena pro or tier pro meets when I was younger, and I got some pictures with them and stuff. And then, fast forward like 18 months, from then jumping in or having like Ryan Murphy jump in your lane for practice, first week on campus. It's pretty cool thing. And like people I think it's just really rewarding to see how when I first got to Cal, immediately everyone's very like welcoming. Like when I visited there, obviously like I committed to Cal for the team culture, the great academics, great school, great coaches, and it was just everything I was expecting for. And it just truly is special. I mean, really special program there. Every day is truly something I don't take for granted, and I know I'm going to look back on these past 2 years and hopefully the next couple of years and just think about every day. It was really special. In practice, creating memories, working hard. You look to your right and left and you see these crazy times being pushed in practice, and you're like, well damn, like I'm part of this now. So it's inspiring, it's motivating, and it's really special to be part of something bigger than myself.
I agree, and it's amazing how we think it's amazing, and then next year it gets even more and more. Like it keeps adding to the summers. When Brooks joined, and then your rookie class that came in, it's crazy what Cal is continuing to prove. The women's team, how it's growing, it's unbelievable. Josh coming in to coach you guys, it's unbelievable. I'm gonna a couple of rapid fire questions for this section, but I want to get into that Cal environment, that training environment later on with the guys. But some rapid questions that we got. Some swimmer from called Brendan Burns. He asked favorite Sopranos character.
Chris Moltisanti, I gotta say.
All right.
Just because I think
why
I don't know. I think The Sopranos as a whole, one of the greatest shows that's ever been created. I think a lot of good characters. Like it's a great show. I mean, I think Chris does his character is a great kind of representation of the dark and like the dark and light part of life and the ups and downs and everything. So I think he does a good job of embodying that whole character. So.
Well, this next question is energy. Well, this next question from a certain Gabriel Jett from Cal says, if you had to give up one, The Martian or The Sopranos?
Crap. The Martian's got to go, I think. Just you can't give up a whole 6 seasons of a show for one movie. But The Martian is a great movie, so.
Wait, over under how many times have you watched The Martian? I'm gonna set the over under at 15. Luke, what do you think?
10.
Oh, under 15.
Under 15?
Yeah.
All right,
I think
Luke.
It's 6.
Jack, how many times have you watched The Martian?
It's definitely under 15. I don't know for sure. Maybe like close to 10 times, maybe. But I live in a house with 7 other teammates, and they were always like, "We should watch a movie," and I'm always the first one to suggest The Martian, and they always laugh and like, I say it's a great movie, and they agree with me, but like we've seen it so many times. But yeah,
I did a film. I did a film many years ago when it first came out, and I mimicked the creative after The Martian. I was really impressed by it. It's a really good movie, so I agree. Okay, question from Troy Row __. What's the worst pool in New Jersey, and why is it GCIT?
GCIT. I don't think GCIT is the worst pool in New Jersey. I don't know. I'm not gonna I don't want to call it any pools or teams, but. I know why people don't like GCIT. I think it's a nice pool. It's a long course pool. It's one of the I forgot to mention that earlier. One of the only long course pools in New Jersey. It's kind of depressing in there though, and very dark. Yeah. I mean, I've swum there a few times for high school championships and some of their meets. So yeah.
Hold on, I got to tell you about my worst pool, Luke, because we used to go swim at this pool in downtown Atlanta when I was a kid, and I don't know if the pool's still there because it may have gotten torn down, but we used to call it the bullet hole pool because it was lined in glass and it was downtown, and there were bullet holes like in the top portion, like glass pane up in the pool. Like, I don't think this is in the best part of town. Maybe we shouldn't come here anymore.
Ventilation. It's ventilation, Brian.
Yeah, that's it.
We would have this one pool in Ohio. It was an outdoor pool, and we'd swim there in the summer, and it was next to this river. And whenever it rained a lot, the river would overflow into the pool, and then there'd be like critters and animals in the pool. I only swam there till I was like 8, but yeah, some fond memories about that pool that was eventually condemned, as one could imagine.
What was your team? The Ohio Beavers?
I think that's when I swam for a Y team, the Kettering Y, maybe the Sharks there, but yeah, the Beavers would have been a good one. It was more like fish and I don't know, lizards and stuff that would wander in the pool.
It's very much like a Trinidad pool. I'm going to get back to a couple more Jersey questions. This is from Tave.c_. North Jersey or South Jersey?
I say North Jersey, just because I'm like, if this is where I'm from, like, I think a lot of people diss New Jersey and think it's, not very beautiful or, very, very condensed. And it in parts it is. I think where I'm from, it's more, a lot of nature, a lot of forest surrounding me, which I enjoy and I like. But, I always like going down to the Jersey Shore and hanging out with friends in there. But North Jersey.
Yeah, I think it's a reputation that Jersey people put out there so people don't come to Jersey. I just moved to White Plains and I really like Jersey. I like the shops, the hours, the people there. The only thing I don't like about Jersey, you can get arrested for pumping your own gas. I'm like, what?
You can get arrested? I didn't know you can get arrested.
It's against the law. I don't think get arrested, but it's against the law. Yep. So,
are there like TikTokers who film themselves pumping their own gas and getting away with it? Is that what the world's
in so much trouble? All right, last question before you go. How long have you known Dari and Matt Fallon? And because we know a lot of the other swimmers from Jersey out there, from Nick Fink to David Curtis, like I said, to Henry McFadden, who is younger. How long have you known Dari and Matt Fallon? Do you think those are the closest, oldest national teammates of yours?
Yeah, definitely. I've known both of them since I was like 8, 9 years old. I swam with Dari on, New Jersey zone teams, and we've remained very close. Just swimming, against each other at like Rutgers, like meets throughout the year, like junior nationals, like U.S. Open nationals, all that stuff. And then really special to be on the same team with him at Cal, and he's a great guy, great friend. And then Matt Fallon, I the same thing. I've been swimming with him since 8 years old. He was on my YMCA team for about 4 years, I want to say. Then he went to like another local YMCA, and then eventually in my senior year, those teams merged together. So we were able to swim together again, actually. And yeah, I'm obviously great friends of mine and teammates, and definitely will stay in touch with them long after we stop swimming.
No, that's awesome. We just had both of them on recently. Have you ever come to Dari's defense? Because he says he's been called Dare more than Dari in his life. Have you ever come to his defense? So like his name is not.
I think I have a few times. It's mostly at like swim meets where I notice it the most, because they'll be announcing the results or something. It's like, first place, Dare Rose, and like everyone's thinking like, Dare, like you got to get it right. It's Dare Rose, not Dare. So yeah, he's had that problem since he was a younger swimmer. But people will eventually get it right, and I think he's earned that. So.
And I have one last question: if New Jersey was a country and competed Paris, would they medal in the 4x1 medley?
It definitely could. I mean, given off, I think we could actually. Yeah.
Last
Destin.
Yeah. Destin.
Oh, Destin. Oh, geez. Wow.
Yeah, I think they would.
I think we could. Yeah.
I think they could.
Yeah.
So for the audience, Destin Lasco, Nick Fink, Dari Rose, and we just need a good freestyler. Gotta think of one.
Can't pronounce his name. Probably is it Jock? So jacked.
All right. So next, we're going to get into a section. I've spoken at a lot of conferences. People, whenever you speak at a conference, want you to have all the answers. And Jack, you're an elite swimmer. I'm sure many people come to you with all their swimming related questions, wanting the best information. So we're going to get into a section that will hopefully answer some, but not all, with our section called Science-ish. So what would you say is the best thing that you do technically, or what thing do you do technically better in the pool than other elite swimmers?
I think one thing that I focus on a lot, and I think I do a great job at doing, is getting a really good catch position with my stroke. So getting this nice like angle with your elbow right here, making sure your elbow doesn't drop or your shoulder doesn't drop when you do your stroke. So just getting a really good strong catch here, and then engaging like your whole, lat, tricep, and just engaging that whole muscle. I think that one of the things I talk about with my coaches and teammates at Cal is the importance of like a quick breath in your stroke. So getting your head, as your left hand comes around, getting your head back in line and back centered before your right hand comes down and enters the water. And then I think like that breath and like focusing on the catch as well kind of just fuels this, fluid motion in my stroke. And I think, breathing every two allows me to do that. And if I focus on like the quick breath, getting the hand back over and the catch, I think that's kind of my money spot and what I focus on most in practice.
Jack, this is a problem for me in my career. So just curious, as a selfish question, do you feel like you have the same catch quality with both arms, or is there like one that tends to be more of a focus or opportunity?
I think both arms are pretty good. I think sometimes I have a tendency for my left arm when I enter, it kind of just veers it just goes like out a little bit instead of like getting this good position here. So keep that in mind as well. But I think, it's pretty uniform. Both arms are pretty, similar and consistent.
Now, Luke McGill from Instagram kind of asked a question that might feed into this, and wondering what your number one freestyle drill is. So is there any drill that you have to really lock in that feeling for that catch?
Yeah, I think just I do a lot of it's called like catch drills. So you just basically you're on your stomach, almost like sculling, and you just do like this quick kind of motion with your arms, and it gets like this motion here, this nice angle with both your arms. And you do it like really fast. So you just kind of move like that. Yeah. Another good drill I like to do. It's not really about the catch. It's more just making sure your body's fully engaged and tensed up. So I'll just put fins on, and I'll be kind of on my side with one hand on a kickboard, and then another hand just doing a slow kind of stroke over, and then like back, and then do a full stroke. And then as you do that full stroke, you like press down the kickboard and kind of get this catch position here. So I think that it combines the catch position a little bit as well, just keeping tone in your body. So those are two good drills I like to do.
You mentioned earlier, like you said, you've had different coaches and you've had a lot of obviously elite teammates. Have you ever tried anything in practice, whether it's a set or a technical thing, when someone said it to you, you're like, this is ridiculous, and then you end up doing it and you're like, wow, that actually helped out a lot, or that connected? Does anything come to mind with that?
I remember, I'll tell one story. So I remember my freshman year, we're just starting taper for NCAAs in March. And this is when David Marsh came in to help us for that spring season, and eventually led this coaching position at Cal. But I remember it was our first practice with him. We got out the weight belt. So a weight belt, I don't know, a 5-10 pound weight around like a belt, and you put it on your waist. And he's like explaining the set. It's like, all right, we're gonna go like 625s. Like on the way down, you're gonna put the weight belt on and crawl on the bottom of the pool like an alligator crawl. And I'm kind of I'm like, all right, yeah, that sounds good. And I never did get a full explanation on what that was for. But he's a very unique coach and someone that I've learned a lot from in the past, 2 years. And I think he always makes up it's that kind of coach he is. He makes up the set as he goes, very individualized, and it's a great unique thing about him. And he always has some intention behind it. So even though that I didn't really know the intention there, I know there was one. So yeah.
Love it.
I started thinking what make like an alligator is. I remember we used to do like a crocodile drill that was supposedly like dropping down to the bottom of the deep end and then swimming across the bottom of the deep end and then up. So it's like 25 underwater, but just down and staying on the surface. I don't think I ever did an alligator drill. Neither of those was I putting myself into the mind of an alligator. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, being at Cal, you must have seen some other, crazy performances or crazy practices from other athletes, or maybe even on the national team. Any come to mind that really stood out? It could be like a 75 time, or someone just having an amazing practice that just blew everyone's mind or got everyone's attention.
Yeah, I'll tell one practice that we had this past fall. It was a Friday afternoon, and we set up the short course setup, and we were going to suit up for the set. So I was going to do, each one kind of varies from person to person. So I was doing 475s, freestyle from a block to a hand finish. And it would be on like 15 minutes, just plenty of rest in between, and just kind of go as fast as possible. So like that was my version of the set. Like for example, like my teammate Bjorn, he did like 275s freestyle, and then 275 is backstroke. So kind of variation in that. Some other swimmers did different strokes. Destin, he did 2 freestyle with me. Then he did a 75 IM and then a 125 IM. So it kind of varies in that way, in that sense. But for my variation, we started the warm up for the set. We put our suits on, and then it was a cloudy day in general. And then it started pouring rain, and, it was a really cool environment because like there's, men, women teams all there together. All the coaches are there. It's pouring rain. We get the music blasting, and it's like, all right, like we're here. Like let's get up on the blocks, race in this environment. And it's kind of, I don't know, that those are kind of my favorite moments in Cal practices. Just getting, the weather might be crappy. You might be feeling good, but there's always going to be the majority of the group is just getting fired up, ready to go, and just make sure that everyone's going fast at that given moment. So I know that for that freestyle 75s, me, Bjorn, and Destin were racing each other, and we were all hitting like 30-point lows to the hand, like consistently. Apart from that practice, I have seen some pretty crazy times from Destin Lasco. He's an insanely hard trainer, and he can go pretty fast in practice whenever he wants. We did this one set, I believe it was 2050s. And, I was doing my first 10 were just cruise going like 26, 27, just kind of cruise, and they're on a minute. So then the next 10 would be at best average pace. But because I'm a sprinter, that's my variation of the set. And Destin, he had to do 2050s like all out best average. And then, Destin was keeping up with me and even beating me on some of them when I was, fresh at number 11, and he was, after 10, he was still keeping up with me. So he was, he's an insane performer and trainer. I don't want to give away too much of his secrets, but yeah, I think like as a whole, the Cal group I have seen some crazy stuff in practice, and it's truly just, and it's motivating, it's inspiring because it's all right if we can go this time in practice. Imagine we can go at the end of March, in suit in race environment, when we're shaved down. So it's just really exciting to see that happen every day.
Well, we're all sprinters here. You got to redeem the sprint crew a little. What's a sprint set you've done recently that maybe didn't look that hard, but was actually a killer set?
Probably we did this one set with Marsh. It was just a small sprint group, and it was long course. And it'd be like 1250s. Like the odds would be like underwater to halfway, and then the rest easy, and then the way back would be hitting back end speed. So I was doing it with Bjorn. So for me and Bjorn, it'd be like, or me, Bjorn, and Brooks were doing it. So it'd be like all this hitting like 24 lows, 24 mids, and it would be on like a pretty tight interval. So there's not much like rest in between. I think like on paper it doesn't seem that hard because you're just thinking like, all right, back end speed, like I can do that, and like actually doing that and going into the underwater segment after, definitely got the heart rate up. But really just like even any hard set, you just kind of have to approach it with the mindset of like, all right, like I'm going to do this set whether I like it or not. Just kind of go in there, get something out of it, and do what I have to do. within that like, hour, 2 hour block to be able to achieve your goals. So that's kind of my, even if it's a hard set or dooming set, I'm kind of just dreading to do, just kind of, that's how my mindset is approach it. So.
Awesome. Now, I'm going to get into some rapid fire about the weight room and other things. Alan_EPM wants to know what your max deadlift is.
Max deadlift? I don't know. I don't think I had ever tried to do a max deadlift before, but we do like the trap bar deadlifts and like trap bar deadlift jumps and stuff like that. We go up to like 315 on those. I know it's not necessarily like insanely heavy, but I don't think I've ever tried to max out my deadlift.
Well, maybe you can redeem yourself. Katamuri.adi wants to know how many pull-ups can you do?
Pull-ups. So my freshman year, we do a pull-up test each year in the beginning of the year. My freshman year, I was able to do, I believe it was 17. Last year, I was able to do, it wasn't as much. I think it was maybe like 14 or 15. And this year I hit 20. So kind of varies in that sense. And I know like, I'm not trying to make excuses, but my arms are longer than some of the other guys on my team, and they can just, rip out pull-ups and bang out pull-ups, and 20 is like my max for me right now, I'd say. So.
Well, speaking of that, _David's BD wants to know, what is your wingspan?
Wingspan? I don't know the exact. It's definitely over 7 feet. I know that. I don't know the exact. I never like measured it before, but I know it's like significantly taller than I am. So.
I wonder how many 7-foot wingspan people in the entire world can do 20 pull-ups. I can't imagine there's more than 5.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, last one on your physique here, because clearly people are very interested with your physique. Sam Coach Swim wants to know, how big are your feet? And we had a few different people asking about that, so I'll let you guys read into that one.
Well, let's guess first. Let's guess. I say your size 5'15". You're 15. Brian, what do you think it is?
Wait. Yeah, I would have said 15.
I'll go 16. We'll keep upping it.
It's 15. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you guys are spot on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Typecasted.
All right. And then the most common question had to do with your infamous start at World Championships, wanting to know, ranging from kind of what went through your mind, how many practice starts did you do between semis and finals after you had the block give you issues? So maybe talk us through kind of what happened and how you recovered from that, because it really was a great swim. And even Natalie Hines, we talked to her right after Worlds, and she was like, the best swim was watching that race and just watching you stay relaxed and recover after such a tough start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd say after the prelim race, like I went in like a best time. I think it was 47.6, and I was just feeling like really good, like really going into the semifinals, really confident. And I don't know, like going on just getting the race prep and everything I did was standard, in the ready rooms, just stayed in my process, even when I walked down the walk. So everything was very consistent for what I was doing. And then I don't exactly know it just made a mistake, honestly, and just didn't really, for lack of a better word. And I wasn't really thinking about my start. I never think about my start. Like when like a race, you don't think about like the little details. You kind of just are in this like race mode of just, getting adrenaline going and getting and executing. So I wasn't thinking about my start, but I did dive in the water, or tried to dive in the water, and, my hands split apart. I watched the video back, and my whole body went in like tilted, and my legs were disconnected from my upper body, and just really like messy start. And yeah, like going through my mind, or throughout when that happened, I was kind of just like, well, like, all right, this is it. Like this is, I'm not gonna, like, I can't like this small part of the race, dictate, my world's debut, basically. And it's kind of just getting in this, not like panic mode, but you definitely get some sort of adrenaline rush, and trying to like get in that motion. All right, I got to get back up there. And I think that I did a decent job of catching up on the 50 mark. And then, as a result of kind of overworking that first 25 and 50, making up that time, the legs kind of died out and the arms kind of gave in the last, 25 meters there. But yeah, I mean, going through the race, just in the mindset of like, all right, you got to go, like, just roll with it. Stuff happens. I finished the race and I was really disappointed, really upset. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, I just can't believe I blew that. Like, biggest race of my career so far, and I just kind of went in there and embarrassed myself, embarrassed my team, my country, and just blew my shot. But remember, I got out of the water. I was super angry. I walked by, like by the blocks, by the media section, and I waited like in this little like kind of stairway. And I watched the second semifinal race go in. And I remember on the 50 mark for the second semifinal swim, the 50 splits, and I was like, yeah, like they're all going fast, like it's over. Like I thought it was done. They finished, and then I was like, I couldn't believe it at first, and I was like going through like the times and saying like, all right, like I should be 8th place. Like I think I should be 8th place, and then I saw the official results, and I was just really relieved and fortunate that I was able to squeeze in there. And it's kind of crazy how like that. Like people have asked me like that question, how did like you handle that? What were you thinking? And, the honest answer is I don't really know what happened there, but I just did everything I could to, make up for it and just hope for the best.
Well, Jack, it was personally a very inspirational swim. And then your final swim and your 50th swim, it was very inspirational. I have done that before. But to see you come back and how you handle that and the grit and your calmness under pressure, it's rare. And I was inspired by it. So there you go. It was also good.
Thanks. Yeah. And then after like the semifinals swim and I made the finals, like going back to your question, I did a few starts, in the warm down after that. And I was talking to like all my coaches and they were saying like, yeah, like don't want to think about it or overthink about it too much. It's just a mistake. But it's hard not to think about it like that whole like night and the morning I had off. I wasn't racing in the morning. So I did a few starts like that night, did a few starts that next morning, try not to think about it too much. But then like, finals came, I stepped in the blocks and it was all I could think about. Just like not messing up the start. And, after like that, the start went off for finals, it was a smooth, like it wasn't a great start, but it's, all I needed really. And it was, like my kind of had this sense of relief, like, all right, like start's done now, just, do the rest of your race. Like, this is like what you're good at. So yeah.
Yeah. In some ways, I wonder if that was a good thing for you, going into a world's final is to have only your focus be on the start so that you weren't thinking about anything else happening in the race. There could have been some silver lining there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right, we just got a few rapid fire questions, and we'll let you go, Jack. Awesome. What's the hardest race in swimming?
Hardest race in swimming? I'd say, given I don't swim like 2 fly or 4 IM or any of the distance events, I have to say like 200 backstroke is really hard race. I know that like for the backstrokers out there and just swimmers in general, they know that 200 backstroke is a really tough race. I don't want to say out of the races that I have done at like a taper meet and rest meet when I was, ready to go, 200 backstroke was my hardest race that I've done. It's really painful. I've done the 100 backstroke in college before, and I might do it this year again, but definitely will not be doing the 200 backstroke anytime soon.
Me neither, or I can speak for Luke and John, the same.
Yeah.
All right. Olympic gold or world record?
Olympic gold, just because, world record's awesome. I mean, why not both? But I think Olympic gold because like it's forever. Like the world record, like obviously, very honestly, like any record you break, world record you break is going to be, it's going to be really special to you, special to everyone else. But it could get broken again. So, and that title could be taken away from you. Whereas a gold medal, it's yours forever. You earned that, you achieved that, and you can just look back on it.
Do you pee in the pool?
I do. Yeah. I think every swimmer that says they don't, they're lying. mean, I have since I was a young kid. I still do. I did it today when I was practicing. So I'll be honest about it. As I said, any swimmer that lies or says they don't, they're lying.
For sure.
On Instagram, Angela Mont asked us, who's your favorite rival?
Favorite rival?
Yeah, you got a rival? You like
I'll do this. Favorite rival / like one of my best friends. It's Bjorn Seeliger. He's a year older than me, and he, like, when I got to my freshman year, he really took me under his wing, and he was beating me every day in practice by like a really wide margin, and then just getting closer and closer to him and comparing myself to his training and his times and all that. And it's really special because last NCs, it was kind of where we were able to compete together and score points together and contribute to a team together. And one of my favorite memories is getting racing the 100 freestyle at NCAAs, and me getting second, him getting third, and just having that moment shared on the podium together. It was the last day of the meet, and just being really proud of him and myself and what we were both able to do for our team.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, our follower Kaihu Han Wolf wants to know, what's the winning time prediction for the 4x1 free in Paris? And I might just say, is it under 3:08?
I think so. I think it's time to get. I think so. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of that race. That relay is really, really fast, as we all know, across the world. I think Team USA has got a small glimpse of that, of what our true potential is in that race specifically this past summer. 3 out of the 4 members in the relay were rookies. That was our first, big international stage and first big international race. I think that wasn't truly our best performance, that relay. And I think, this coming up this summer, whether it's the same guys, different guys, I think as a collective, youth is swimming is moving in the complete right direction in everything they're doing. And I think, everyone's going to be really, really surprised and proud of what, those four guys are going to be able to achieve this Paris. And I just hope I can be part of that moment.
Well, plus you can do 20 pull-ups now. So, of course you're going to catch you.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite song pre-race? Do you listen to music? And if so, what are you listening to if it's not T-Swift?
Yeah, favorite song. Every session at NCAA's, nationals, worlds, I would listen to Thunderstruck and Kickstart My Heart. Just getting hyped up. I listen to it maybe an hour before my race, before warm up, when I'm doing my stretching and dynamic warm up. So that kind of gets me in the right setting and just gets me locked in. So those are my go-to songs.
Yeah, Can't Stop the Heart is for sure the best all time. All right, what's the Cal Sprint group doing over there? How often are we doing social kick?
Oh, we social kick every day. Yeah, the warm up is typically we call it a 200 flop, which is just 200 loosen, 300 loosen, and then it may be 200s free, 250s free, then a 200 soch. So social kick is definitely incorporated, and I believe every single practice that I've done in the past 2 years. So it's definitely a big part of our success in training.
I can totally understand. I mean, it's hugely influential. So, Jack, thanks for hanging out. Super fun to get to hear a little bit about your story and share some laughs too. So we appreciate it, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys so much for having me. Really fun.
All right. That's it for this episode of Social Kick. See you next time.
See ya.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you're enjoying Social Kick, tell your friends about it. And be sure to tell us what you liked by leaving a comment and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Social Kick, and you can find all of our content on our website,